attitude, motor behavior, then mood, anxiety, depression, fears, suspicion, aggression, everything that will affect the mood. Sensory problems, for example, we can check for that patient is aware where is he sitting, location, localization, what is the date today, what is day today. So all these will tell about sensory aspect of the nervous system. Then coordination, gait, equilibrium. We have to check patient is able to walk in a straight line. And we can guess that what part of the brain we are looking for, deficits in which part of the brain we are looking for. Then reflexes, motor system, and of course cranial nerves. So this neurological examination will cover most of the symptoms. Now because nervous system is a broad vast system, so we have to localize certain symptoms with a particular system. Please go through this when you see the slides, but there are some basic rules that we will follow. They say that rule number 1, only one lesion, one part is affected, may be bilateral, both sides may be affected. Then we have got the rule number 2, the lesion is on the opposite side of the hemipariesis, that is control is opposite. This we have basic knowledge. 4 major sites, usually these sites they are causing hemipariesis. These are the cortical level cortex, then internal capsule. If you recall back, when all fibers they ascend or descend, they get collected in limbs and genu of the internal capsule. And we have got somatotropic organization. In like the brain, we know that which part of the brain, body is represented in the brain. In internal capsule, we also know that which part is represented. So either cortex, internal capsule, corona radiata or the brain stem. Then rule number 5, everything crosses. Most of the nerve, either level of the crossing of fibers will be different, but every fiber will cross. So number 4 we have done, the face is always weak on the same side of the arm like this. Number 6, the law of expectation, what we expect. This we have to use our previous knowledge. Then this is expectation is more, we can see, for example, if there is a left-sided hemipariesis, we can see it of course, which is by observation we can see and follow it. Now if there is not a brainstem lesion, there will be a left-sided upper motor neuron. All these are the basic rules. And if you, for example, the top was the cortical lesions. Cortex, the frontal lobe, number 1. The frontal lobe is the major portion which controls our personality. So any problem, any change with personality, we have to go directly to the cortex. Second thing, there are number of presenting symptoms which can give a clue that the cortex is involved. For example, aphasia, the person is unable to speak. Now this speech is, we will see further that how it becomes effective. Then we have got agraphia, unable to write. Then alexia, unable to move. Acalculia, even simple calculation, 2 plus 2, cannot do it. So this is acalculia. Neglect, extinction, apraxia, unable to recognize agnosia. So all these symptoms can be easily checked and can lead to the conclusion that major cortex is involved. Then we have to see lobe-wise also. If you recall back your anatomy, the lobes of the brain, they have a specific functions, starting from the frontal lobe. This is the main lobe concerned with our reasoning, planning part of the speech, movements, emotional. And we know that we have got specific areas of the speech over there. One area what we call a sensory speech area, other are the motor speech area. The vernix and the Broca's speech areas. Then parietal lobe, mainly concerned with movement, orientation, recognition, perception of stimuli. Then occipital, the visual lobe. Then we have temporal or auditory. Then we have cerebellum, motor part of the brain, but cannot initiate the motor function or coordination of the motor activities. Then basal ganglia, inhibition and initiation of the movements. So all these parts of the brain, they have a specific function. This we have to keep in mind while examining the patient. All these will give a clue where the lesion is localized. Back to cerebrum, this is a rule of thumb. This is our highest controlling center. And many aspects we have studied, starting from some salient sulci and gari, areas, broadband numberings. If you recall back, for example, area 6 and 4 and 6 areas for main motor functions. Similarly, post-central gari, these somatosensory areas. Then some of the areas which need more attention. For example, the areas for our speech. Please never forget to examine, because this is a very big presenting symptom in a patient of neurological lesion. Problem with the speech, simple slurring or total absence of sleep of the speech. So these two areas, they must be recognized and recorded back and examined. We have got the vernix area. If you see the superolateral surface of brain, the vernix area over here and Broca's speech area. Now this area vernix, this leads to understanding what we are speaking or what we are listening. The person who has deficiency at this area will not able to understand what has been spoken out. And when he tries to talk, if this Broca's speech area is normal, he can make words. This is the motor speech area. He can make words, but words they are mixed because understanding is not there, conception is not there, person is able to understand the things. So a very beautiful term has been used for these patients. They call is a word salad, like various vegetables we mix and make a green salad. So some of the words, they are meaningless, but he or she, patient, is going on to use it. So these two areas, and if we go back to the functions for this lobe which we are looking at, a list is there starting from the basic reasoning of the understanding. What we understand, what we plan, which language we understand, which language we can learn or we can recall, long-term memory, impulse control, problem solving, emotions, initiation, motor function. So basically frontal lobe is the major area, major cortical area that is controlling our lot of our body function. Then another thing to recall back is what is control over there. We use the word homonucleus, the upside down arrangement of the body in motor areas and in sensory areas. If you recall back, one important thing is just compare the area for the face and area for the hand. They are more areas occupied as compared to their size. So proportionally, more area has been given to the face and hand. Now this is upside down presentation. So at this level we have our perineal regions. Lower limb mostly go to the medial surface. So both areas and all these areas are connected with ascending